Beyond Dreaming by Hart, Part 2. The background of life. As a child, I was not often concerned with what school teachers had to say. Instead, I'd be more fascinated with an insect walking across my tables or what the other children were doing or thinking. I often had my eyes gazing out the window, letting my mind run wild with the infinite possibilities of what could happen at any given moment. Perhaps an asteroid could hit the Earth. Or what if everyone suddenly developed superpowers? Or I'd consider what it would be like flying amongst a flock of birds I saw. I grew up with adults telling me that I wasn't academic, but the truth is, I wasn't interested in surface-level conversations that had no meaning to what was happening around me in the present moment. I was more concerned with the background of life rather than the foreground. For example, I'd keenly notice the shapes of clouds or count how many trees were in a field. Or more notably, I'd notice the impression a person gave me long before seeing what they were doing or what they were saying. When I did pay proper academic attention, it would be in subjects such as science or art. Science, which promised some explanation to the mysteries of life, and art, which let me undertake activities without another odd intellectual lesson to regurgitate. Alas, this is the purity of a child's mind. Now here we are, older, buying books and guides, trying to figure out something so natural and straightforward, how to separate consciousness from the body. Yet, many of us cannot grasp this innate capacity for non-physical exploration, which is all but second nature to liberated awareness. This is simply the practice, to liberate awareness from the self-limiting beliefs and perceptions we impose on it. We have to learn how we learned about how we perceive the world, and then carefully proceed to unlearn that which no longer serves a purpose for our personal freedom. One of the main reasons we struggle with astral projection is that we have become so used to intellectually scrutinizing everything we learn. In typical modern society, we tend to study every topic's foreground, asking every question that appears on the mind's surface level, relating it to everything we already proudly understand about physical existence. We are rarely concerned about the background, understanding things critically and fundamentally. For some people, they do this to a terrifying extent. For example, if you ask them, "What is the sun?" they will answer with a frightening confidence something like, "The sun is a star which is made up of hot plasma caused by nuclear fusion reactions." On a superficial scientific layer, this is true, yet it is far from a description that would best suit the sun's infinitely far more profound reality. Sadly, for this type of individual, all they see when they look up at the sun is a description in their mind, never stopping for one moment to gaze at its beauty, which sings more words than any scientific description could offer. I am not saying such definitions or beliefs are bad or wrong to hold. I'm saying that if you don't understand that it's not reflective of the actual essence of the sun, for example, then you have not realized a deeper dimension of life that goes transcendently beyond any sort of shabby description. There are so many different examples of this type of defective way of perceiving the world. I commonly see it when people become interested in out-of-body travel. For instance, when someone discovers the concept of astral projection, they usually ask questions such as, "When out of body, how do I travel to another country if I don't know the way? Do I need a map? How do I pass through physical objects?" Or, "Is it all just a figment of my imagination?" And the best one, "Isn't astral projection just lucid dreaming?" I say the best one because we have so many assumptions, connotations, and preconceptions about dreaming in conventional modern knowledge. It may not seem like there's anything wrong with these questions at first glance. However, They are filled with deep-rooted assumptions embedded in our perception of how we think the world works on the surface layer of reality. When trying to have out-of-body experiences, people often overthink the process in the same ways we conventionally think of learning new things. They do this by dissecting every step and asking questions such as, when I get to such and such a stage, how do I proceed to the next stage? Or, do I need to have my chakras activated before astral projecting? In this book, I hope to explain to you a state of being where you can rely not on complicated theories and speculations, but instead on your own inner guidance and intuition, which favors your ability to trust the flow of your own natural processes rather than your apprehensions. One can study the piano for many years, but it takes feeling the keys and the beat of the music to play it. Learning astral projection, which barely relies on thought, is understood not through theory, but through experience and practice. There will be a series of exercises provided throughout the book, which you can use. The rest of the book should act to complement your contemplation and understanding.